Would you ever consider having your partner have like full access to your mobile phone?
So here's the thing. And for those of you who are in the audience, so David likes to be very, very prepared before we go on the show, and I'm more off the cuff. So this is why the shows are kind of sporadic the way they are, because you're very prepared and I'm very not prepared, off the cuff. I just, whatever comes out of my mouth is what I talk about, so on and so forth. So he brings up this subject of like, he always drafts up, and I appreciate this, notes on the guests and potential hot topics and so on and so forth, which is really great. You know, I do look through them, and I saw this as one of the hot topics, and I was like, why is he even bringing that up? Because number one, he's single. So he's got no one who wants to look through his phone. Like, why is he like, for what reason do you want to talk about this? So I'm curious, before I even go down the road of me, like, why did you consider that to be a hot topic?
Well,
like,
you do have to remember, I was in a relationship for 10 years.
Oh, so did he want to go through your phone? Years.
Well, here's the interesting thing. So if we're going to like flip this back on me, which is fine. So before I was married for 10 years, I had a long-term relationship for like 5 years. And I decided that I was going to track his internet activity while I was out of town.
What?
And so while I was gone, I found him trolling Craigslist.
Oh my God.
Can you believe that?
You're like a sneaky bitch.
Oh, I was so upset. Oh yeah.
You're
I was
hardcore.
so upset. So it was pretty hardcore.
Yeah, no wonder you're single, because nobody wants to be with someone who does that.
Well, here's the thing. I was so young then. But you know what I learned from that? Don't ever do that.
Right.
Like, talk about ruining your life.
Right.
Oh my God, it was the absolute most horrible thing I had ever done. And I would never do that again. And so when I was married for 10 years after that, me and my partner, we did have full access to each other's phones, and it was like no big deal.
That's so funny because, you know, remember I told you that story? I think it was when we were talking about coming out stories, and I told you my mom was coming from Illinois down to Atlanta, and I said, oh shit, I've got to tell her that I'm gay because I was living with a man at the time. You know, how do you explain that? Right.
Right.
So that man went on a business trip one time, and this was when AOL was still around.
Okay.
So he had left himself still logged into AOL.
Okay.
So I went on the computer and it was under his account, and all of a sudden this prostitute starts IMing him, instant messaging him and saying, when are we going to meet up? And blah, 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 blah. And I was like, this fucker is paying for sex.
Wow.
I'm like, what the hell?
Oh my gosh.
So
well, I already offended you once, so I won't say anything else.
I mean, that put an end to that relationship like really super quick.
Wow.
But now I'm an open book, David. I mean, you know that. I talk about everything and anything, and there's nothing really off limits with me. So absolutely. I mean, I would totally let, Rick go through my phone if he wanted to, although he would never want to do that.
Right.
But if he wanted to, he could. And he was like, but we do have to share each other's passwords, because he's got a valid point, because he said, we talked about this today, actually, that if something were to happen to me,
right,
he wouldn't know like some of my friends' phone numbers to get in touch with them to say, oh, Paul is in the hospital, or Paul's dead, or Paul fell off a cliff, or whatever. So he does need to have access to my phone in case he's got to call people if something were to happen to me, and vice versa. So, but no, I mean, he can get on my Facebook. He can get, I don't have anything to hide. So,
well, how would you feel if he had your phone for a full hour? Would you go through withdrawal?
So what are you insinuating? Yes, I would. Because I'm always on my phone.
I know.
So yes.
Okay. Just curious.
No, he can't have access to my phone for like more than a couple of minutes. Because I need to be back on the phone.
Yeah, they do say apparently if you're having an emergency, if you go in your contacts and you can literally label certain people, like if an emergency call, or, mom or dad or husband or wife, and that way the police can actually know who to contact if there is something that might happen.
I'll have to check that out, because I didn't know that was available.
Yeah, just an idea. You can put that in the
because Rick is my emergency contact in the contact, like in my contact list.
Okay.
But it's just Rick. It's not
Right.
anybody else. So I guess if we die in a plane crash on our way to San Francisco, we're both screwed because nobody's ever going to know. So,
Oh, okay.
although you would know because I wouldn't show up at the show. You'd be like, where the hell is Paul?
As soon as I didn't see you posting on Facebook, I would be very, very concerned something horrible had happened.
I am not that bad. Good Lord.
I love your Facebook post. I love everything you're doing from a social component. Yeah, I think it's great.